There we go. Hello. Okay, so there's a few things I want to go over today. One thing is, as a Google Trusted Photographer, there's some things that we need to know. And this doesn't just apply to trusted photographers, this basically applies to anybody. If you want to do business with a business, it's good to know, like basically do some recon on who you are trying to present to. Good way to do that is to, first of all, know where they are on the map. Second of all, it's good to know that they have their information properly on the map as well. Things like hours, things like their website. If it's a restaurant, they got their menu on there. Because I have clients that tell me sometimes that they have a strong Facebook presence. That doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't matter really to anybody, because nobody Facebooks anything. If you're going to go and try to do something, you're going to try to go somewhere, you're going to try to look at something cool, you're not going to Facebook it. You're going to Google it. And there's some ways that you can go about changing the map. And Google, in some ways, the Google map is actually sort of open source. A couple of things you might want to take a look at are, if you get a chance, it's kind of hard to research it, maybe I can pull that up one day, is called Ground Truth by Google. And if you start getting into the research on that, and again, I'll probably wind up doing a video on that one here in a little bit, probably the next couple days, on what exactly ground truth is. But essentially, if you've ever wondered how Google knows where stop signs are, how Google knows when there is a accident that happens, it comes through third-party apps, but it also goes through some other things. I'm off on a tangent here, but there are all the location data that is collected and anonymized. Trust me, it is anonymized. You can go and pull your own stuff off of Google at any point, and you can actually see it on a map. But again, we'll do that later. There are certain areas, like I said, that you can adjust on the map. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to my my other screen here to show you what the Google Map Maker user interface looks like. So switch this over here to the screen. There it is. Okay, so what we're looking at right here is a location here in Salt Lake City, Utah. There's some apps that are running here. This is a location of a business that is actually there. However, there should be a building in this location right about here. If I switch over to the Google Earth view, it'll pop up a bunch of things, and you'll actually see that they have construction in this area. And if I'm looking at things right, all of the, I don't see any street view imagery that shows this location here. Let's see what we show. Yeah, we show that there's construction here, but that's basically all that we can see. So this is the Audi dealership. This is what used to be called Strong Audi. They've since changed the name. There's a couple other things that we need to, in the next couple of days, I'm going to try to get fixed, because it was reported by an anonymous user that the location here is incorrect. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to try to fix that for that guy or girl, the person that, the user, the mapper that decided to make that report. So we're going to go back out here to the the actual overhead view of what is being shown. An interesting note, if you notice that if you notice as I'm moving things around, look at particularly at this building right here. This building, if you notice, it has a shadow, and it actually has a little bit of a depth to it. This is something that is not really known by a lot of people. It's kind of there, but it's not. There's little like Easter egg about this. It's interesting. You notice the shadow. The shadow is accurate. It's not just something that's made up to make something look like it has depth. It's not. That's not the truth at all. If we were to go to, I'll open up go to one of these other tabs here. Look at the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. Right. We go and look at the overhead view on Google Maps. You'll see that we can see the tower. If I move it to the side, you can see that it actually takes on a depth, right? If I take it over here, it takes on depth on this side. It's actually a 3D model of that building. But if you notice the shadow right there, the shadow is different in Washington, D.C. than it is here in Salt Lake City, where the shadow isn't quite so elongated, because it's all based on where the sun is. Little known fact. And yet there's actually a video online that shows where a person like every minute took a screenshot, and you can essentially use the Washington Monument as a sundial on Google Maps. You can actually tell as it works its way from this side of the monument down and around the other side of the monument through the day. You can actually tell the season, the time of day. You can tell all that stuff just based on the length of the shadow and also the position of the shadow and all that stuff, which I think is really interesting. But we're let's get off the tangent. Let's move back to what we're actually talking about today. So the Google Map is editable. What I'm showing you right here, this is actually Google Maps. And this is the same thing that you'll see if you go through and you look at anything online. You search for, well, I'll do a random, just not really a random search, but it's a search for one of my favorite donut shops here. It's called Beyond Glazed, or Glaze. And it is located, well, let's see what it pops up here. It should pop up with the right location. Yeah, 2121 South McClellan Street, right here. If we go down to it, you'll see that it's actually, it's giving me, all I'm displaying here for you is that this is Google Maps. I'm just kind of proving that to you. This is Maps. This is not Map Maker, okay? What you're going to want to do is, I've got it open here. I've got that location, that Audi location open here. The URL for Google Map Maker is, of course, it's www.google.com/mapmaker. If you want to go to this location, then you can go ahead and kind of follow along with me. If you look right here, so okay, this is the Audi dealership. I see here that I have this yellow little pin. The yellow pin means that there's something that's pending review, and anybody can go in there and review an edit that somebody's wanting to put up there. And from what I see on this, it actually looks like it's a person. If we go to the details. Details shows me that it's reported by right here a Google Maps user, which usually means that it's been reported by a person on a cell phone who says that something's incorrect. So yeah, when you have those, if you're ever on your phone and you do something that you tell the map that, hey, this Taco Bell is not actually at this location, or this Burger King is across the street, those reports do go up, and editors like you or me depending on your level of approvals, you'll get to be able to say yes or no on these things. This one's a little bit complicated because the person says that that the website is changed and that the address is changed. But me personally, I know this place. I've been to this place, and I know that it's not called Strong Audi anymore. It's called Audi of Salt Lake City, and it's and so basically, instead of putting a new place marker on there, best thing to do is actually just to change this right here. It's kind of difficult to change what's called a place. Google doesn't, the map doesn't care if it's a park or if it's an artwork outside. It doesn't care if whatever it is, it's a place. So this particular place is already listed. So the person that listed this, that big yellow marker right there, listed it as Audi Salt Lake City, which is correct. That's right. The address that they put on there is correct. Yes. The web address that they put on there, yes, that's correct. However, it's best not to create a new one, a new listing, a new place where there already is a place. So unfortunately, what I would do in this situation, and for this new mapper, I didn't mean to do that, for this new mapper who's got like 4 edits on the record, I hate to do it, but I would have to decline the edit and just say, hey, instead of creating a new one, we need to just edit the one that already is here, which is this Strong Audi right here. That's all something that's a little bit more advanced. We'll get to that at another point. I think I got too much into that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, let's see, switch this back to the map view. And you'll see that where there was that construction, you can see on Street View, where there was a construction, it's not construction anymore. It's actually a completed business. And this Strong Audi dealership right here is not the actual dealership anymore. This right now is the used Audi dealership. The one next door to it in this area right here is the new Audi dealership. Now, I don't have the proper dimensions for it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to build a basic outline for the building so that I can go through later on and actually have it, actually get it whittled down to its actual dimensions. And I can do that with a GPS walkthrough on a app on the App Store. It's called My Tracks, Google My Tracks. And there's also some other ones. Open Maps has another GPS tracking software that's actually really, really good. I favor that one sometimes. So what I'm going to do with this area right here that was the parking lot, again, we switch back over, we see that it's a parking lot. Come back into satellite view. I'm going to go up here to add new. You see how it gives me different things that I can add. I can add a place, just like I said before. It doesn't matter if it's a park, doesn't matter if it's something that has a name, basically. If it is a place or has a name or whatever, you can add it there. That's a place. You can add a road. We can get to that at another time, but right now we're going to do add building outline. So you notice that all the buildings around here, they have depth. The outline is just an outline. We can get to the depth in just a second. So I'm going to hit, we'll just go over the options. The industrial building, a monument, an apartment building. And it's important that these things are distinguished because the approval of the buildings, if it's a monument that you're putting in, it's going to have to go through a lot more of an approval process. But we're just going to do just a standard building. And now it gives me the ability to manipulate the map. So you'll see it shows me all these pink buildings, right, in the area. And this is just to show me if I'm going to be duplicating something that's already there, right? So now I need to click on the map, just do a straight line down. And again, like I said, this is just an outline. I can go through later on, and I can actually, with the GPS, walk around, or just by looking at the thing, or if new Street View imagery comes around, I can actually go in there and fix the dimensions. So what I'm going to do is basically build a rectangular building, right? And you see how it's just standard polygon drawing is all we're doing. I can just freehand the thing to the next point, or I can hold down my shift key. Shift will bring up a 90-degree turn. You'll notice that it's going to want to snap to whatever 90-degree turn that is closest. So with this tool, with shift held down, I'm going to just finish creating this this shape. Now it's going to want to give me a whole bunch of other information here. I know for sure that the address is not on Herbert Avenue. The address is actually on State Street. So I hit on South State Street. City is right. State is right. Zip code is correct. I do not currently know the address, and that's fine. You don't have to have that. So now if I hit save, it's going to bring up a list on the left-hand side. And what it's doing is exactly what I was saying earlier, how all of the buildings in the area pop up pink. And that's to show that, hey, there's buildings here. Make sure you're not doing a duplicate. So I know for sure that this building that shows that pops up green, you see it right here, pops up green. That I know for sure, yeah, that's not the building that I'm drawing. You go through all of them, just make sure that you're not duplicating any buildings. So I know for sure that I'm not doing that. Down at the very bottom option, there's this one right here. It says, this is not a duplicate. So I hit that, hit continue. And you'll see it says at the very top, this feature has been published successfully. And that's really all it takes. I'm going to switch over back over to headshot here so you can see. Again, it just doesn't work. We'll have to see how it works. Come on now. You have to give me a second. My webcam's not really liking me. There we go. So you see that what I did there was I made an edit to the map, right? I'm new to Salt Lake City. I haven't made very many edits to Salt Lake City. And all of these, the approval rates that you get based on the amount of the accuracy and the amount of accurate edits that you make. So with this one that I just did, I'm not considered a person here in Salt Lake City that is a really, really great mapper in this area. I'm much better in the area that I was just from in Kansas. But you'll see that even though I'm not like the most skilled, the most trusted, the most whatever, I was able to go in there and just create a building just like that. So just kind of get the point home that Google Maps is not this closed ecosystem. It's something that you can go in and edit. So let me switch back over to the screen, and it'll let me do something else. Usually, sometimes when you go through on Google Maps, it doesn't like it do edit, like one edit and then another edit and then another edit. It doesn't like that. It thinks that it'll start to believe that you are spamming the system, which unfortunately does happen. And you'll notice that the building is not, it doesn't have that shadow that I was talking about earlier. The building next door has got the shadow. This guy right here has got the shadow. But our building doesn't. And that's because what I did was I just created an outline. That's all I did. So if I go to the up here at the top where it says everything, right? It's showing me my activities and everything that I've done, basically. If I hit this search button, zoom to this feature, right, it'll highlight that feature. If I hit details, it'll let me back into this building. And where's that at? Oh, my bad. Instead of going details, you go edit this place. And it pops up that same screen that it gave me right after I told it was not a duplicate. Now, bear in mind that since I just created this building, it's kind of a crapshoot on whether or not it's going to allow me to give it a height or not. To make it, it's kind of a crapshoot to tell if it's going to allow a secondary edit. It usually likes it when you do it all up front. So getting short on time, what I'll do here real quick is I'll give this building an attribute. The attribute for this building, I know for sure that it's taller than I am. I know that it's taller than 2 of me's. So I'm going to guess, do a rough estimate, and again, I'll come back later on and I'll make this thing fully fleshed out. I'm going to give it a height of 25 feet, right? If you're doing this in Canada or if you're doing this in some other country, the measurement will actually default to whatever is the standard within your country. I prefer meters, to be honest with you. I can't, if the GPS system tells me I have 500 feet to go, I can't imagine 500 things that are the size of like 1.5 of my shoes. I can't do it. All right, so I'm going to make this edit to 25 feet. Save it, see what happens. We'll look at the very top of the screen. Again, it gives me the whole similar features exist nearby. I know that I'm editing that one, the right one. So again, I hit it. I say that it's not a duplicate. Hit continue, and it may pop up at the very top saying that it's going to need review. And of course, it doesn't do that this time. That's good. So I have just now, it's not rendering correctly. If I refresh the page, let's see what happens. And this sometimes happens. If you come back to this in like an hour or so, you'll actually see that the building will be rendered properly. What Google calls that whole depth thing is it's not 3D because you can't go all the way down to the street and see the buildings and visualize it. And yet it's not 3D, it's 2.5D. That's what they call it. So it's kind of a cool thing. If you're on if you can Google navigate you somewhere that's got all this depth information, be sure to while you're being safe and on the road, look at your phone, see that it's showing you the depth of these buildings. It's really kind of cool to see it from that perspective. So let's switch back over here. Try to refresh it, see if it comes back. There we go. So we see our building, right? This building that I just created, just made it. And this isn't like just some like humdrum little bakery or shop on the corner. This is an actual Audi dealership, like a for real Audi dealership that's got awards. If I pop it up right here, this is the web page for it. If I scroll down to the bottom, it's not just an Audi dealership. It has this Magnus Society. If you want to go ahead and research that, that's it's kind of the elite of the Audi dealerships. So what I just drew on the map, what I just made up essentially, is not just something that's unimportant. So yeah, you can check on this in the next few days as I whittle it down and I kind of cut the corners out, make sure that it's looking right, and you can see that the work is actually it'll progress. So let's switch back over to another headshot here. I'm getting this right. There we go. There we go. So yeah, anybody can edit the map, just like anybody can take great photos if you just know how to do it. You can do Google Maps. You can alter the map any way that you want to, as long as it's proper, as long as it's accurate. If it's not accurate, it's going to get kicked back. It's just it's not anarchy. So yeah, give it a try. go find a parking lot. The best way to do this, the best way to get into doing all of this stuff, to make these edits and have them approved right away, is to go through and find a parking lot and make just draw the lines that the parking lot has. Yeah, that's essentially the best way to do it. If you're going to do a parking lot, make sure that you do you go by the guidelines of a parking lot. They'll pop up as a little help if you hover over the icons. It'll actually display a short description of what it should be, like a enclosed area parking lot, and it has to be listed as a it has to have certain attributes. I'm getting way out of the point here, but if you want to be able to make these edits, the best way to do that is to make a lot of edits, and a lot of edits that are accurate and provable and showable. And if you want to get your edit count up and your accuracy rate up, just like I said, go find a parking lot. And actually, this, if you want to, you go to this area that I'm at right now. Just search for it, Audi of Salt Lake City, and draw the parking lot that I'm showing you right now. Just don't do it on the place that I built the building, but switch back over to the screen. Be sure that you don't draw over the area that I just drew that building, right? But if you want to get some points for doing an accurate edit, connect State Street into this parking lot. Create a road and do the same thing here. Connect from here all the way up to here, and then you can connect all of this up to Belmont Avenue. You can connect all these streets. You can pull out a good 20 accurate edits out of this one little area right here, and that'll get you way on the way to making things look right. So I'll switch back again. I'm getting the hang of this a little bit better. So yeah, get out there and map. Make sure that your areas are all, they're good, right? You always hear people complain, hey, I went down this one street and it was wrong, or this one area it was one way, but I know that it wasn't one way, or I could have gone this way, it was faster. I knew it was faster, but it's not. The world's a big place. Roads are changing. Roads are there, then they're not there. So it's up to people that are around you. You know your neighborhood the best. You know what's happening and what's not happening. If you go to the Google map and you see that the roads are all wrong, don't just giggle at it and be like, Google is so stupid. No, go in there and fix it. Make it better for yourself, because you're not just making it better for yourself, you're making it better for everybody. Your mom and dad want to come visit, making it better for them. We'll go over roads with the next video. But yeah, next video, like I said, roads, and there's another thing I wanted to get to, but yeah, have fun, happy mapping. Don't just always remember that we are all in this together. That means that we can't get better unless we all do this together. So yeah, till next time, I'll be seeing you later.